Hello, and welcome to the 16th in an unknown number of podcasts. I begin today with a post that a friend of mine had put onto Facebook the other day, and it features an old Nokia 3310 mobile phone. Those of you out there, the grown-ups, may have actually owned one of these back in the day. But the post goes as follows. Imagine if this lockdown happened 18 years ago. You would be stuck at home with a Nokia 3310 with 300 texts, 100 minutes call limit, and dial-up internet. Now, that got me thinking about 18 years ago, 2002. So what follows? A little bit of a walk down memory lane, or as Robin Williams called it once upon a time, Amnesia Avenue. So let's go back to 2002. In 2002, the Queen celebrated her Golden Jubilee. Tony Blair was the Prime Minister, and George W. Bush was the American President. Salt Lake City played host to the Winter Olympic Games. The World Cup was being held in Korea and Japan, and Brazil beat Germany 2-0 in the final. Having had time to recover from watching Jar Jar Binks in The Phantom Menace, we went back out to the cinemas again to watch Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And if we weren't heading out to the cinema, we were staying in to watch Pop Idol. And here we have the finalists Will Young and Gareth Gates. If we weren't watching Pop Idol, we were listening to some other sources of music. Popular at the time, David Gray's album White Ladder and Dido's album No Angel. Students in 2002 were trying to get away with wearing stripy fingerless arm-length gloves as part of their uniform, thanks to a style or trend started by Avril Lavigne. Or you were wearing Von Dutch truckers' hats, and it had to be Von Dutch. Or you were wearing your polo shirts with the collars up, sometimes multiple polo shirts. And when you weren't at school and you went back home, you were playing with Beyblade toys or Bratz dolls or Cranium Kudoo. Now, those are just a handful of the highlights, and no doubt there'll be some people who would say those were the lowlights of 2002. To the grown-ups out there, I wonder how many of those you remember, and I also wonder what else that you'd be able to recall from 18 years ago. And it strikes me that here is a conversation starter for the parents amongst you out there. What are the things that you could share with your children? What were your fashion mistakes, or what music were you listening to that they've never heard of? And if we go back to the coping calendar, for the 14th of April, it says play a game that you enjoyed when you were younger. So what were the board games that were around when you were children that you can share with your own children now? To the students out there, to the children out there, 18 years from now, how will historians look back and talk about this time that you're living through? So I've mentioned in previous podcasts that here is an opportunity for you to be having some form of a written journal or a photo diary, or some way in which you can record what it is that we're going through during this time. So to the students out there, if there are any other ways in which you have been documenting what you've been going through, and you want to share some top tips and handy hints, do please let me know via Twitter. It's @ChiefVicar. And to the grown-ups, since I mentioned what types of music you may have been listening to If there are any good suggestions for songs or albums that we should all be rediscovering or discovering, do please let me know. Until tomorrow, be kind, take care, and stay safe.